This is Mrs. Nasland, and today we'll be looking at Unit 5, Lesson 14, Practice Multiplication. Our learning target today is I can practice two-digit by two-digit multiplication. We're going to spend most of our time working on some word problems just to practice our multiplication. Then at the end I'm going to show you yet another method for double-digit multiplication. Totally optional to try, but it's called the lattice method. So, first off, let's go ahead and read this problem. We'll use our strategies for word problems. After I read it, it says, between his 9th and 10th birthday, Jimmy reads one book each week. If each book had about 95 pages, about how many pages did he read during the year? All right, again, I go through and I circle my numbers. He read one book each week. He read about 95 pages. My question is, about how many pages did he read during the year? Let's see, any key words? Oh, I see this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and box it. It says about how many. Oops, that's not a box, is it? About how many. So I want about here. I want something, it's not an exact answer. I just need an about how many pages did he read. All right, so my hidden question here, I have a hidden question. I have to figure out how many weeks there are in the year. And I do know that there's 52 weeks in a year, but they're wanting to know about, so I get to do an estimate. So I'm going to make this easy for myself. I'm going to say there's 50 weeks in the year. Again, I round. I'm just looking at the number behind it. It's less than 5, so I'm going to go ahead and round it down to 50. And he read 95 pages. So I'm going to round that number 2, and it's above 5, so I'm going to go ahead and make that 100. So we're looking at 50 times 100. And using your zero trick that we talked about, our mental math trick earlier, go ahead and solve that one. And what you should have gotten if you did 1 times 5, you would have gotten 5. And then you had your 1, 2, 3 zeros added on. So it's about 5,000 pages. Now that's not an exact answer, but an estimated answer because it was talking about it being about. All right, let's go on and try this one. It says Sam's father built a stone wall in their backyard. The wall was 14 stones high and 79 stones long. How many stones did he use to build the wall? All right, so again, I'd use my strategy here. I'm going to go ahead and circle my numbers. The wall was 14 stones high and 79 stones long. The question asks, how many stones did he use to build the wall? All right. Let's see, so it's not about anymore, so this one is an exact answer that I'm looking for. Let's see. We want to figure out how many he built. Okay, so I know that this is a multiplying problem. So let's go ahead and write that out. We have 79, and we're not estimating this time because it doesn't say about. It wants to know exactly how many. 79 times 14. So go ahead and you can solve that one on your own, and then we'll come back and solve it together. All right, so I'm going to use my turtle head method here. I'm going to draw my turtle head. 9 times 4 gives me 36. So I'm going to put my 6 here, carry my 3. All right, 7 times 14 is 28, plus my 3, 29, 30, 31. All right, then I go ahead and cross off my carry numbers, I add my collar, and I lay my egg. Now I'm going to go the opposite way. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 7 is 7. No carry numbers to add on that time, and then I add these together. I get 6, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So my final answer is he used 1,106 stones. I want to label stones here. It's hard for me to write, but stones is what he used. All right. Good. Then let's keep going. But this one, it says Balloon Bonanza sells 25 different kinds of balloons. They have 48 different colors of ribbon to tie onto the balloon. How many different combinations of balloons and ribbons does Balloon Bonanza sell? All right, again, I circle my numbers. There's 25 different kinds of balloons. There's 48 different colors. How many different combinations do they sell? And that combination word is a key word for me. When I think of combination, I always think of I'm going to have to multiply to figure out those combinations. So we're going to go ahead and multiply here. 25 times 48. All right. And go ahead and work on solving that one on your own. All right, let's see how you did. I'm going to go ahead and draw my turtle here. 5 times 8 is 40, 0, carry my 4. 2 times 8 is 16, plus my 4, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then I go ahead and cross off my carried numbers, add my collar, lay my egg, or add my 0. 4 times 5 is 20, so I put a 0 there. Carry my 2, that's why we cross off that number. And then I do 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10. If I add those two on, and when I add, oh, there we go. And then I go ahead and add those up. And I would get 0, 0, 2, and 1. So 1,200 combinations. All right. Last word problem here. Brian's Bike Shop sponsors a cross-country race every summer. Every rider gets an official race t-shirt. The first year of the race, 24 riders competed. Last year, 13 times as many riders competed. If t-shirts come in boxes of 100, how many boxes of t-shirts did Brian need to have for the race last year? All right, so this one's a little bit more tricky here. Let's go ahead and circle. There's 24 riders that competed the first year. Okay. There's 13 times as many riders competed last year. And the t-shirts come in boxes of 100. Okay. The question is figuring out how many boxes of t-shirts did Brian need to have for the race last year. All right, keywords in here. Let's look. Key things. I would say the first year of the race there was 25 riders. Last year there was 13 times as many. See that word? Times. It's telling us that we get to multiply. And the t-shirts come in boxes of 100. Okay, so there's a lot of things I could highlight in that one. So first off, I know I get to multiply. So let's go ahead and write our multiplying here. We get to do 24 because there was 24 riders that competed the first year, but there's 13 times as many that competed the next year here. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this one. All right. And do the turtle method. All right. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Cross off what I carried, add my collar, lay my egg, and then I go ahead and keep multiplying. 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. Add these together, and I'll get 2. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 3. So 312, 312 riders competed. So we have to figure out how many boxes would he need of t-shirts. Each box has 100. So go ahead and think about that. Think of how many boxes would you need in order for all 312 to get a t-shirt. All right, now what I would do is I would think of 312. How many hundreds go in there? 3 do, but I have 12 left over, and we wouldn't want those people to be without t-shirts. So I would need a total of 4 boxes in order for everyone to get a t-shirt. All right, the last thing I wanted to show you is this method called the lattice method of multiplication. Now this is just an additional method. You don't have to use this, but if you want to try it, it actually was used hundreds of years ago, and some people believe they've even traced it to people writing it into the dirt when they were first using multiplication. So it's kind of a cool historical thing to learn. But basically, if you look at each one, you'll see that they drew a box, they put a cross through it, and then they just drew these lines right through the box. So it's something easy you can draw if you want to try it. And then they wrote the numbers that they were multiplying. So in this case, they were doing 67 times 43. And then all they do is they multiply. So you go 4 times 6 and you write 24. 7 times 4 is 28. And then they keep going here. 3 times 6 is 18. And 3 times 7 is 21. And then you start adding. You add your rows. So in here I only had one thing, so I just have 1. I go down here and I've got 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 2 is 18. So I put the 8 and I actually just write a 1 up here because I had to carry. And then I add these. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. All right, and then I add my last one. It was just a 2, so I write a 2. And then this is the amazing part. There's the answer, 2,881. 43 times 67 is 2,881. All right, let's just go ahead and try one here. And then I'll let you give it a shot if you want. Again, I just multiply these two numbers. 8 times 2 is 16, so I put my 1 and my 6. 2 times 5 is 10. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 8 is 56. And there's the 7 and there's the 8. And then I add up each row, or each of these diagonals. So the first one just had 6. Second one had 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 6 is 16. So I write my 6. Still have to carry, so I'm going to add my 1 right there. And then I do 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then my 1 is right there. So my answer is 1,566. All right, now go ahead. If you want to give it a try using the lattice method, you can draw out the box. Just put a cross through it. You draw these lines. You can try it. If you just want to do it regular multiplication, you can do that as well. All right, let's see how you did. 5 times 7 is 35. Not a very good 3 there, sorry. It's hard to write on the computer. 35. 7 times 6. Let's see. 7 times 6 is 42. And 6 times 8 is 48. And 5 times 8 is 40. We add them up. So we get 5, 5, 4, 8, 16, 6, and I have to carry my 1 up here. 4 plus 1 is 5. So you would have gotten 5,655. All right, that completes our review of multiplication.